All right, this thing has to support some serious weight. Ugh. Get in there. Ooh, this thing makes me nervous. Luckily, there's a piece. Oh. Hey guys, it's DT. Welcome back to the channel. I've got a very special video for you guys today because I just got in one of my most anticipated statues. This one is massive. It came in 5 giant boxes. This is the largest statue I've ever shown on the channel. It's bigger than the X-Men vs. Sentinel diorama. It's bigger than Devastator, and it may very well be the biggest quarter scale diorama ever created. So I'm very excited for this one. As you guys can tell, it is a Spider-Man piece, and it's got 7 different characters. From the measurements they gave, they said it was over 50 inches tall, more than 30 inches deep, so it's gonna take up a big amount of space. The UPS guy dropped it off at my front door this afternoon. They're not incredibly heavy, but I did have to bring them down 2 flights of stairs down here to the studio. I think the weight of all the boxes was about 210 pounds. I thought I'd start by unboxing everything, putting all the pieces out here on the table, then give you guys some close-up details of each of the characters. Then we'll put the whole thing together and I'll do the review as usual. I unboxed everything. We have most of the pieces here on the table. Unfortunately, the base can't even fit, it's so big. But we have all the characters laid out here. There aren't a lot of little small parts like we get with some of those Transformers pieces, which is nice. But these pieces are massive. These are real quarter scale statues, and we've got 7 of them out here on the table, along with some giant walls. Some smoke, as you can see. For the most part, there were no broken pieces, which is amazing considering there were 5 giant boxes that were shipped overseas. There were a few little scrapes on the base, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But I'm very happy that all these guys came intact. So now what I'm gonna do is give you guys a quick close-up look at some of these characters to show you some of the details, the paintwork that went into them. I can tell you right now, they look pretty amazing, and we'll put this thing together. So first up, since this guy is right here, let's give you guys a close look at Vulture. Here's a look at that head sculpt. As you can see, lots of detail, lots of expression in that face. You can see all the teeth, nice bald head with some veins. Here we can see kind of that scalp texture on the top of his head. And we have his little vulture collar. Some nice muscles in there, sort of like the pinstripe texture going down his body. Some darker shading on his muscles. I'll give you guys a look at his wings once we have it assembled. Then over here we've got Dr. Octopus. Nice Doc Ock physique. He's got the glasses, the bowl cut. Very classic Doc Ock. A little 5 o'clock shadow going on there around his chin. Nice smile on that guy as well. That's a very classic costume here. Here we've got the 4 keys in the back where his tentacles go. Cool looking Doc Ock. Then we have Mysterio. Mysterio's body anyway. Another shade of green, square pattern on him. He doesn't have full legs because he is part smoke and very heavy. All these guys have some serious weight to them, which tells me this whole statue is gonna weigh a ton. And speaking of heavy, here is Craven. This guy might be the heaviest out of all of them just because of his build, his costume. But look at that. Look at that portrait on that guy. Most of these figures come almost complete. This guy is just missing his left arm. Look at the eyes on this lion. That is cool. It's not just painted on there. It's got a nice shine to it. We've got the hair on his chest. Some nice shading on the abs. He has the zebra belt with some claws or teeth coming out of it, just like the ones on his necklace. And he's got the leopard pants and these cool boots. Just a quick look at the back. Got that whole lion's mane going on there. Very nice sculpt and paint. I think he might be my favorite. Here's a look at Electro minus his mask. Look at those whited out eyes. Evil grin. We'll go ahead and put the mask on. Just keys right into his forehead. Like that. Look at that. He too has a different texture on his body. Another shade of green. Of course, this guy has the lightning bolts on him, the yellow underwear, and then a nice bolt of lightning going down his leg as well. I was debating on the XM Electro for a long time, but then this piece came up and I was like, well, I'll just get that one. And then we have Sandman. Very dynamic expression there on his face. You know, sometimes with dioramas, you might think that they will skimp on some of the individual characters just because there's a whole lot going on. But as you can see here, all these guys would look great as standalone pieces. They just happen to be part of this diorama. Look at that hair. That is some classic Sandman hair. We only get the upper torso with Sandman. The rest of his body, as well as the entire base, is this sand. That is some really nice sand texturing and coloring. It looks like sand. Here's a look at his hands. Look at that, like the size of my hand. Same great texture in all of that. And here's a look at Spidey without his head. Classic Spidey costume. Some nice texture on that blue area, as well as the usual texturing on the red. Nice line details there in the seams. The only switch outs we get in this entire diorama is Spidey's head, and he comes with 3 different switch outs. Here we have the small-eyed Spidey. I guess this is kind of like the classic Spidey, or maybe the Del Auto Spidey, but it's got kind of this metallic silver on his eyes instead of white, and very nicely with the costume. Here we have the medium eyes. I guess this is kind of the classic Spidey, John Romita style Spidey. And then we have the big eyes, the McFarlane Spidey, which is my favorite Spidey. We'll have to see how it looks with these more classic characters here. Oh, and then we also get, if you want to count this guy, the gargoyle. It looks like it came right off of a Batman statue, but it's a very detailed gargoyle. Sometimes these little statues on the statue are a little bit muddy looking. This guy's got some sharp features, especially in that face. He's got some wings on the back, but pretty cool. All right, guys, here we are, the moment of truth. Let's get this thing put together. I'm gonna have to remove some of this stuff because obviously there's no room on the table for the base, so let me go ahead and do that. Ugh. Whew. So quick thing about the base. The base doesn't have a sticker on the bottom or little pads. All it is sand. So if you look at it, see the bottom? That's all sand, or sand texture anyway. Right now, I think it's okay because this is just a plastic turntable. If you're gonna put this thing on a cabinet something nice, some kind of nice display shelf. If you even move this slightly, once all these pieces are on it, it's gonna scratch. I'm not sure why they didn't just make the bottom smooth, but I'm gonna get some little furniture pads and put a bunch of them on the bottom. Now there were some tiny little scuffs and chips on the inside here because this part right here, which is kind of the added support, I think, that they made, was just kind of wrapped up and placed in here. And when I was moving the box, I could hear something rattling around, and it was this piece because it was kind of just in here loosely. They probably should have had either better padding on it other than the little foam wrap. It is a little bit on the wobbly side, meaning the bottom of the base is not completely flat. Once I put the furniture pads in there, it should level itself out. All right, so I stuck the little pads all over the place because I didn't want there to be an uneven weight distribution. It is still a little bit wobbly because I did put one on the center as well, but hopefully over time everything will kind of settle into place. And if we need to, we can put thicker ones and maybe double them up on one side. The whole thing might settle as well once we have the weight on it. All right, let's start putting this thing together. So this part right here is actually the front of the statue. This is where Sandman attaches. But I think we need to put some of these walls together first. Let's start off with this pretty big building right here. So this one's got a key and a peg. All right, looks like that one might go right here. Let's see if it fits. So that's one wall. And I think this piece looks like it goes in here. Looks like it goes over here. So we're basically building the walls to the building that these guys are fighting on top of. All right, as you can see, guys, this is a massive base. Probably already weighs too much to pick up. All right, looks like we have one more wall right here. Here is the front wall. All right, and now we need to put the top on. And I guess it's this piece right here. There's like a key right here, and then some peg holes up there. Oh, let's see. As you can see, this is already a massive base. So now I guess we need to put on the top, just keys into the top. It's like building a little house here. Here's the inside of the house. I'm not really sure where this goes. Spidey keys into the gargoyle. So we need to put the gargoyle first. So the gargoyle just keys in right here. We want to make sure he's nice and tight because Spidey keys into him. So a lot of these characters key in on one appendage. A massive statue. Spidey's already at the top of our screen. I might have to move the camera if I want to get Spidey's hand. Let's see if we can stick some of these other guys on here. So he's just going to key in up here in front. His foot's going to go on the ledge. There's a little flat area up here where it looks like he's kind of climbing up the wall. Sandman goes up in front. He's actually facing forward. Just like that. Big right hand. Make sure that's nice and snug. We don't want gravity pulling that arm off. I'm gonna raise the camera up. See where the smoke from Mysterio goes. This part right here keys in to this part. All right, this thing has to support some serious weight, so man, it's like hitting this thing. So this piece down here actually hits the bottom of the smoke, which gives it some additional support. But man, this thing, ugh, get in there. Ooh, this thing makes me nervous. All right, it looks like it's in there pretty good. Oh, this thing is already sliding out. All right, I think this is what this piece is for. I think it's supposed to support this. Wouldn't trust this by itself. Gravity is likely to pull this out over time. It's already coming out right now. All right, maybe we'll wait on this part. We'll hold off on that. Let's put Electro on here. And he keys in right here to the side. All these side connections kind of make me nervous, just because these guys are so heavy. All right, so he goes in there pretty snugly. His hand actually connects to Spider-Man's hand, which is kind of cool. So his hand actually goes here. Doesn't really line up with Spider-Man's hand, so we're gonna have to do a little bit more warming up so we can bend that electricity. All right, so once we got it heated up, it was easy to kind of move into place. See how he goes. Man, these characters are so heavy. So he goes up here, he's got a key on his knee, just keys right here on the side, I think. So he keys in from the top, which is a little bit more stable than the guys that key in from the side. Those kind of make me nervous. We'll stick his tentacles on at the end. I don't want them in the way. Let's give Electro his other hand. I'm looking at the picture, and it looks like this piece right here goes right in here to kind of add some more support to the back side of this platform. There's no key. It's kind of just flat on the top side, and the bottom side has a sculpted rock. It doesn't lie completely flat, unfortunately. It won't go anywhere unless I lift up on this, which I might do when I put this smoke on. And it's really only hitting this side right here. The other side is not even touching. Let's see if that works. If this thing was lighter, it wouldn't worry me so much, but this thing is heavy. Fits in just like this. This is how it's supposed to go in. So we're gonna put this thing down where it's supposed to rest. And then we're gonna key this whole thing in and hope it stays. All right, that thing just makes me nervous as hell. This key just does not want to hold. I wish there was a screw. All right, we're just gonna stick Mysterio on. Hope he stays. As you can see, the key right here is not even doing anything right now. It's kind of holding this thing in place, but it's not really attaching this to here because the downward weight of this platform is causing it to kind of pop out. So right now, everything is being supported by this little support piece, which is what it's supposed to do. But I wish there was a way to secure this to the platform, and maybe a screw would have been nice, even if it was just like a little piece that you can pop off and then screw in the back and bolt it to the base. Because right now it just wants to pop out. But let's go ahead and finish this thing. Hopefully nothing comes crumbling down.
Nothing comes crumbling down.
There is a lot of weight on this smoke piece with both Mysterio and Vulture here. So let's see. So his foot just has this giant peg on the toe. Kind of just goes down. And it goes down pretty far. All right, he's in there. Luckily, there's a piece. All right, guys. Not good, not good.